Welcome back to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in North America, where an international eco-alliance is trying to stop the progress of an oil pipeline for yet another time in these last 7 years. From BBC, quote, the Texas-based company Energy Transfer alleges protest tactics by Greenpeace delayed the project, which began transporting oil in 2017 after Donald Trump backed it in his first term. Protests against the pipeline near the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation drew thousands, but Greenpeace says it did not lead them and that the lawsuit threatens their free speech. The organization could face financial ruin, ending over 50 years of environmental activism if it loses, it also says. The trial in North Dakota is expected to last 5 weeks, beginning with jury selection on Monday, end quote. Across the Pacific in Asia, where Japan and the Philippines seem to be building more ties as the threat of China only increases. From AP, Japan and Philippines agreed on Monday to further deepen their defense collaboration and talk about protecting shared military information in the face of mutual alarm over China's increasingly aggressive actions in the region. Japan's defense minister, Gen Nakatani, and his Philippine counterpart, Gilberto Tedero, forged the agreements in a meeting in Malaya, where their concern over China's actions in the disputed South China Sea and East China Sea was high in the agenda. Japan and the Philippines are treaty allies of the United States, and the three have been among the most critical voices of China's assertive attacks in the region, including in the contested waters, end quote. Next, we went to Australia and New Zealand, where the two nations had to adjust their travel plans over the weekend as China's naval divisions hosted a live fire drill. From AP, New Zealand, quote, leaders in Australia and New Zealand say China should have given more warning before its Navy conducted an unusual series of live fire exercises in the seas between the two countries, forcing flights to divert on short notice. The drills by 3 naval ships happened in international waters beneath a busy commercial flight path over the Tasman Sea on Friday and Saturday, and at least once involved live fire. Live fire from the warships hasn't been confirmed during Friday's drills, but firing was spotted by New Zealand and the New Zealand Navy ship tracking the vessels on Saturday, end quote. This week in Germany, a new election decided the fate of the German domestic politics, but also the politics of Europe as a whole. From BBC, quote, Friedrich Merz questioned the future of NATO. He is the new Chancellor-elect is probably the best way to put it. Future of NATO, and demanded Europe boost its own defenses. Quickly, this tone from the close U.S. ally and from Friedrich Merz, who is known as a passionate Atlanticist, would have been unimaginable even a couple months ago. It's a seismic shift. They may read like hyperbole, but what they are now experiencing in terms of transatlantic relations is unprecedented in the 80 years since the end of World War II. Big European powers have been shocked at the core by the Trump administration, end quote. Next, we travel to Brazil, where a bus crash has left multiple dead and more injured, and the bus driver has been arrested after fleeing the scene. From AP, quote, a bus carrying university students and a truck collided on a highway in southeastern Brazil, killing 12 passengers and injuring 21, authorities said. Friday, all of the dead were students from the University of Franca. Officials said. The injured were taken to the closest hospital in the region. It is with great sadness and sorrow that we receive the news that our students had their dreams cut short in a tragic accident. And that was a quote from the university, end quote. And finally, across the Atlantic, we finish in Africa, where the Sudanese have finally broken the defenses of a paramilitary group, RSF, in one of the most popular and important cities in the region, Al Obeid. From BBC, Al Obeid, the capital of northern Korfadan state is a strategic hub connecting the capital of Khartoum and Darfur. This is the latest military advance in recent weeks following the recapture of several parts of Khartoum from RSF, where there was jubilation on the streets as Sudanese soldiers marched into the city. A military spokesperson, Nabal Abdal, confirmed the gains in a statement, saying his forces had destroyed RSF units, end quote. And of course, if you want to read any of these articles in whole, all the links will be in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine. So you can come back on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the normal, 10 to 30 minute podcast about U.S. politics. And if you want to listen to international politics, that's Tuesday and Thursday. You can find all of them there. You can download them at the RSS feed, or you can come and give a little like on the video. So with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe. Don't die.